You are watching Ask Doc Live. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Rebecca Kozak, and I will be your host for the next 2 hours as we discover some amazing, empowering information on how we can not just survive, but thrive with optimal health. Now, I just want to make sure everybody knows that if you're on live with us today, raise your hand if you have questions for Dr. Wallach, because after he does his opening monologue, we're going to be taking questions from the people that are here live with us. To raise your hand in your Zoom app, there is a more option. And if you click on that, you'll find the raise hand option there. So please, if you have questions, raise your hand. We will be going through questions in the order that they are raised, and then back and forth between emails that we've received. And if you do write a comment, make sure that you include your age or the age of the person you're inquiring about, their weight, their height, and not just the one thing that you're inquiring about, but if they have any other conditions. Dr. Wallach is going to need to know about those as well. So this program, the FDA requires us to let you know it is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician. It is for educational information only, and the importance of nutrition and supplementation in a world where our food supply is empty and void of the nutrients that the body needs to actually thrive. Now, this program will be sharing these nutritional options that are available through supplementation in a form that the body can actually utilize. It's readily available and absorbable. This program, again, is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician. The FDA requires us to let you know that the products are not meant to treat, prevent, diagnose, or cure any diseases. But we bring you good news, as the genetic theory has been proven incorrect through science of epigenetics. Now, epigenetics is the study of how your behaviors and environment can cause changes that affect the way your genes work. And with epigenetics, you are an empowered individual and have more control than you think of your own health journey. So we invite you to feel the difference and using the options that we will be sharing today. And to guide us, we are honored to have one of the founding fathers of epigenetics here to share the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health. Dr. Joel Wallach. Welcome, Dr. Wallach.
And there it is, epigenetics.
Epigenetics, yes.
All right, thank you. All right, yeah, basically, we have wonderful bodies that we live in. We have the capacity to repair ourselves, to reproduce ourselves. And our goal is to add 25 to 50 healthy years to everybody's life. That's why we want to share this information, because people are leaving 80 years on the table compared to what we can have. The recorded human life expectancy is 155 years. And here in America right now, our average lifespan because of the COVID thing is 75. And so people are leaving 80 years on the table. They're leaving 80 years on the table they could be spending with their loved ones and doing the things they like, whether it's fishing or golf or playing checkers or canasta or whatever it is they want to do, or dance. But it takes a little bit of effort and time investment, but it's cheaper per pound and per day than buying 2 cups of Starbucks coffee a day. It's not expensive, okay? And of course, you're in control. Now, one kind of weird piece on this before we get into the details of the question, as of yesterday, we had 121,000 new COVID cases yesterday in the United States alone. 121,000 new cases, and it's spiking. And 93% of the people who are getting the infections now are unvaccinated. 83% are getting the Delta variant, which came from India. And so, and kids are starting to get it really bad now. Kids are getting it very badly. And so we need to look at it. And people say they don't like vaccinations. Well, that's everybody's choice. But if you're not going to vaccinate, you have to give your immune system everything it needs to work efficiently to defend you. That's 215 nutrients now. As it has the core, the 90 in there, the Healthy Start Pack, but you want the big hammer in this case. It's called the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. And when you get a vaccination, people say, well, why are they having all these breakthrough infections? People are vaccinated twice. They have, the second vaccination, and then 3 months later, they get the bug. Well, that's because they didn't do all the other stuff necessary to support their immune system. Because don't forget, vaccinations do not kill viruses, bacteria, fungus, or yeast. Bacteria just alert your body to the bad DNA and RNA of the bad bugs. And so when the bug appears, your body knows to attack it. Well, if you've been eating gluten all your life, wheat, barley, rye, your intestines are dead. You are very inefficient in absorbing nutrients. And if you're not supplementing, you're probably only getting less than 2% of the nutrients you need. And this is why people even die. And of course, kids, when they're vaccinated, they can, and even adults when they're vaccinated, they can get infected. They have a lower risk of dying, but they can still get infected and infect other people. So they still have to use our colloidal silver. They have to still use our hand sanitizer and do distancing and wear a mask and all this kind of stuff. We're in the middle of a pandemic here, okay? And it's not going to go away until everybody is really working together and doing this. All right, now with all that said, now, unless you have a wild question about the pandemic, I'm going to go on to the adding 25 to 50 healthy years of your life, okay?
Let's talk about the positive stuff, Dr. Wallach.
Okay, let's add 25 to 50 years.
25 to 50 life-loving years.
That's
not
correct.
Not just getting by, but loving the days that we have.
Oh yeah, and being able to do all the things you want to do. I want everybody to be what's called super centenarians. We have a history of, let's see, 100,000 100-year-olds. We've had 100,000 100-year-olds in the United States over the last, no, I think it's 10,000, excuse me, 10,000 100-year-olds over the last 100 years. That's the way it goes. And we've only had 32 supercentenarians. And supercentenarians are people who live to be 110 and older. And so I want to have 100,000 supercentenarians. Now, there are countries that do that. There are countries that do that. And, we brag about how good our medical system is and all this, that, and the other. But when you come down to, okay, well, how do you track whether the medical system is good or not? Well, when you look at our professional athletes, let's look at our professional athletes. Their average lifespan is 62. And they make a lot of money. They make, some of them, millions of dollars a game or an event. Their average lifespan is only 62, except for basketball players. Basketball players only live to be 51. And why is that? Well, that's because they're into the exercise piece, and exercise without supplementation is a negative. I actually have a CD out that says the title is Exercise Without Supplementation is Suicide. Okay, and exercise without supplementation is suicide. So just that gives you a clue that there's a problem here with just doing extra. Well, I eat well and I exercise. Well, that's not good enough. If you want to be a super centenarian, if you want to add those 25 to 50 healthy years of your life, if you want to exercise, you got to compensate for that. Stay away from the bad foods. We have the good food, bad food list which they can get from you guys. And absolutely no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, rhinos, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go. And then you need to supplement again with the 90, which is our core thing, the Healthy Start Pack. But I want you during this pandemic, until the pandemic is, it might be 5 years before the pandemic's over. And there could be 3 more variants show up in the next 6 months, and 2 other pandemics jump on us at the same time. Now that happened between 2003 and 2005, where we had the H1N1, we had the Spanish flu in 1918-19, but 2003 we had H1N1, we had SARS, MERS, we had, let's see here, we had COVID-2. Just before that, we had polio, we had the Asian flu, all this kind of stuff jumping on us all at the same time. And that's because we went to electricity from wood stoves. We went to electricity, and that was the cause of all this. Electricity was the cause of all this. Well, why is that? Well, for thousands of years, when people were using wood stoves and fireplaces and fire pits, for cooking and light and heat. They would take the wood ashes and put them in their gardens, and wood ashes had the minerals in it that the tree had sucked up out of the ground. And you burn the carbon, but the minerals are still there. So you put the wood ashes in the gardens, and the carrots and the beans and the peas and the squash and corn would suck up, and tomatoes and peppers and all that kind of stuff would suck up all these minerals from the wood ashes. You'd eat those things. And grandma, I can remember grandma, she'd put our wood ashes. We didn't have electricity until I was 9, so we were getting wood ashes until I was 9. And she's putting the wood ashes in our soup and on our salads and all this kind of stuff. And I thought it was kind of weird, but she says, you take it. Okay, whatever grandma says you do. And so that's where we got it. Well, when we switched over to electricity, we didn't have any more wood ashes. And so within 10, 12 years after 1882, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882 on Pearl Street in New York City in the bluff overlooking the construction of the Brooklyn Bridge. And that's all in the book and the CD called Hell's Kitchen. It goes into the history of all these pandemics. And when we switched to electricity, it was a big problem. All the industrialized nations switched to electricity. And so they all got all these diseases at the same time, 30, 40, 50 new diseases. And doctors, this was the beginning of the darling of genetics. And so, well, these are all just new genetic diseases we've never really paid attention to before. They're a genetic thing. No, they were just nutritional deficiencies. And so when we came out with our CD in 2003 and the book Hell's Kitchen 2005, and we came out with the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, which has 215 nutrients in it, including that 90. And we were able to take people who had all these terrible genetic diseases in 2 or 3 days, they were gone, because we're giving them the nutrients the body needed to prevent these symptoms. So that's kind of the good news thing. We have a lot of experience. We've got it published. And diet is a big thing. You cannot eat well enough to get everything you need. I'll repeat that. You cannot eat well enough to get everything you need. You must supplement. And if you do supplement, you're going to be very, very happy, but you do have to stay away from the bad stuff to maximize absorption. Now, let's see here. Let's look at some of the ages. Let's look at some of the oldest ones. Excuse me. Let's look at China. Their average lifespan in China is only 74. Our average lifespan is 75. So they leave 81 years on the table. You go to Hunza, which is the Hunza Cuts that live between Pakistan and China. They live near the Giltar Glacier. They were the subject of James Hilton's book and movie called Lost Horizon, talked about Shangri-La, and everybody thinks that's a mythical place. Shangri-La is a mythical place. No, that's actually a valley in Hunza where these people lived to be an average of, let's see here, 120. They lived to be an average of 120, but the oldest ones lived to be 165, 168. But the ones that they really tracked, and James Hilton was a very vicious investigative reporter for the New York Times and London Times. And there was this Chinese doctor by the name of Dr. Li Qinyun. There you go, Dr. Li Qinyun. And he was running around selling herbs, saying he was 265, and that, you buy his herbs, you can live a long time too. And so they sent James Hilton there, and he followed this guy for a year and took his fingerprints on things that he touched. After he leave, he'd get the fingerprints and then check it from someplace 50 years ago he was supposed to be. And those are his fingerprints. And so he wrote a big article from the front page of the New York Times in 1929. And it was so well received also for the London Times. He wrote a book on it called Lost Horizon. People loved the book so much, it was a bestseller. He helped produce a movie out of Hollywood called Lost Horizon, 1933. Also won all kinds of awards for that. But everybody thought that was all mythical stuff. No, it was actually the truth. Now let's look at a couple more here. Let's look at, the Hunzas are only leaving, on the average, they're only 120 subtracted from 155. They're only leaving 35 years on the table. But when you look at the long-lived ones, they're a positive. They're living 10, 15, 20 years longer than 155. Okay, so that's doable, but you have to be on top of it. And so I think, let's see here. Okay, Latinos in the United States, they tend to live the longest in the United States, 81.8. And so they're only leaving 73 years on the table. Black Americans only live to be 72, so subtract that from 155, they're leaving 83 years on the table. And here's the big one. Are you ready for this? The big one. medical doctors, especially in the emergency room, their average lifespan is only 57. They're leaving 98 years on the table. Medical doctors are not the people to ask for longevity. Now, you get run over by a truck, you need to go to the emergency room, right? You get some massive infection, pus is coming out of your eyes, everything, you need to go get some antibiotics. But that's very telling. When the average lifespan, CDC, Center for Disease Control, published this information about 3 months ago. That's where I got the information from, Center for Disease Control, the government agency, not me. I didn't figure that out. They published it. Front pages of all the newspapers. The average lifespan of emergency room doctors is 57. They're leaving 98 years on the table. So we want to look to the Hunzes. And this is why we really got into what we do. Get rid of the bad stuff, take all the known nutrients that your immune system requires, what every cell in your body requires to maximize its lifespan, maintain itself, repair itself, replace itself when it dies from old age. And we can actually add 25 to 50 healthier years of our life. My goal is in my lifetime, and I'm 82 years old, I expect to live to be at least 110, be at least a super centenarian. I want to see some super centenarians that, came in with us when they were 50, 60, 70 years old. I've been doing this for 50 years, so it's possible that some of the people we've been working with for 50 years could be super centenarians here pretty quickly.
Absolutely. Absolutely, they can, Dr. Wallach. I know we have people that have been with you at least 25 years. They're in their 90s now and still kicking around as if they were in their 50s, 60s.
Yeah, they're still playing golf and playing tennis and walking for a couple of miles around with their great grandkids and all that kind of stuff. And it's one of those things where it's a blessing. You look back into the biblical days and people were very skeptical. Moses lived to be 300 and Methuselah lived to be 969. Well, what if that was true? Wouldn't you want to know what they did? Well, of course.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I just want to let everybody know that you can find the good foods, bad foods list that Dr. Wallach mentioned on our website at askdoclive.com. There's even a little spot there that you can sign up and have it emailed to your email address. So all of the information that you are hearing about today, you can find the replay of today's program also at askdoclive.com. And Dr. Wallach is going to be going through some protocols as we're answering questions, and all of the products that he mentions today can be found in the store. But I want to make sure that everybody is very clear. If somebody invited you to watch this program, don't go to our store. Get back with the person that invited you to this program. They have an interest in making sure that you get exactly what you need, and they may have a special way of ordering, and you want to give them the courtesy because they thought enough of you to invite you to this program. So please get back with them. Now, if nobody specifically invited you to this program, on our website, we have a contact us option where you can send us an email with your specific questions that I will be going through some. I mean, we get a lot, but I'll be going through some today with Dr. Wallach and getting some answers for our listeners. And we greatly appreciate all of you for being here with us. We welcome you to invite your friends. This is information that can help people change the trajectory, give them a pivot point from going from bad health to looking at brighter future. So please share this program with others. Invite them to the askdoclive.com website so that they can sign up to receive their own reminders and newsletter about information that we share through our program. I cannot forget our amazing co-hosts. We've got John T. McCollier, who is running all of the technical stuff that we greatly, greatly appreciate. We have the beautiful Nasima Omar, who is putting comments in the chat, and the beautiful Ruth Ellen Sanchez, who is as well, and making sure that everything runs smoothly. I could not do this without them. So I have a heartfelt thanks for all of them. And for Dr. Wallach, who takes 2 hours of his time every Friday to be here with us and make this an opportunity where we can get information from the man himself. So Dr. Wallach, Mike has a question here in the comments, and I don't know if it's something that you're able to comment on or something that you want to look into, but he wants to know if you can comment on graphene oxide, which is in the vaccine that they're trying to mandate.
Okay, I'll do some research on that, but I don't want to comment on it now because I don't know enough about it.
Thank you so much. That's what I kind of figured, and I greatly appreciate that you're taking the time to look into it. So let's go to our first hand that is up, and that is Mariana. Mariana, go ahead and unmute yourself. You are on. There you go. You are on live with Dr. Wallach. Oh, wait. Let's try to unmute you again. Okay, so I just sent a request to unmute. All you have to do is say okay.
Can
Does
you
she
hear
say
me?
it?
Now
Oh,
we
yeah,
can-
now we hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay, I have my cat on the supplements you recommended, but I just wondered what food do you want? Should I be giving her? Because I don't know if she should have the kidney diet that would have gluten in it.
Okay, no, you don't want the kidney diet that has gluten in it. No. Basically, you want to get a good grade of canned or dry dog food, or I like to use a mix of half and half, half dry, half cat food, half dry, half canned cat food, and just read the label 6 times to make sure there's no wheat, butter, rye, oats in it. And the beautiful thing about these commercial diets for cats and dogs is they put a lot of vitamins and minerals in there. But I also want you to add the Arthridex. It's 1 scoop for 20 pounds of body weight. So if the cat weighs 6, 8 pounds, give it a half a scoop of the Arthridex. Don't forget the EFAs, and cats particularly like our EFA pluses, which come from fish liver. And so they like that because they like the fishy taste.
I'm giving her both those.
Okay, good.
And I'm giving her the fatty acids.
Yeah, the EFA pluses.
Yes, and the super KB.
Okay, that's fine. Excellent.
But it's okay to give her regular cat food as long as it's gluten-free.
That's correct.
Okay.
And that saves you a lot of effort, and it's consistent, and so you know, they've done a lot of research, and they have a lot of vitamins and minerals in there, and so it's pretty high quality stuff. People living under the bridge, human beings who live under the bridge, who eat cat food and dog food, live longer than medical doctors who live to be 57.
Oh, that's interesting.
All right, thank you so much, Mariana, and best wishes on your kitty. Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Wallach. As you started out in the animal world, well, after fixing yourself, but your research around the world and all that you did with Mutual Omaha and all of their funding, it's just incredible. It was inspiring. I watched it as a kid. So now that I get
and the World Wildlife Fund.
yes. So I loved watching your work as a kid, and I know that there's many on here who also did, and to have you here live is such a great honor.
Thank you.
Let's go to our next hand, and Rose. Rose doesn't have her audio connected. So let's go to Christy. Christy, go ahead and unmute yourself. You're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Okay, can you hear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm 71, 5'2", 111 pounds, and I have macular cellophane, macular pucker. And I was wondering what you would recommend for that, or if there is anything.
Okay, are you completely blind? Are you wearing glasses or what?
No, actually on the macular cellophane, it's just on my right eye, and it's like I am looking through cellophane.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a couple of quick questions here. Do you have any tinnitus, any ringing in the ears?
Yes.
Okay.
I had sudden hearing loss in 2004 on my right on my right ear. So of course I
Same
do
side.
have tinnitus.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. And so do you have any balance issues? Vertigo, balance?
on and off, yes.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. You have a little bit of white and gray hair. Do you have any varicose veins?
Well, my hair is actually kind of a light brown. During the summer, I spray it with a lightener, but where it's gray is just over my left ear.
It doesn't matter if you have one gray hair. That answers my question. Yes, you have gray
Okay,
hair.
yes.
It's not an aging thing. It's a nutritional deficiency that gives you gray, white, and silver hair. That's what I'm asking. Now, do you also have any varicose veins?
No, just
Okay.
a few little spider veins.
Okay. Well, the spider veins are baby varicose veins.
Okay,
Okay. They're caused by the same thing that causes the white, gray, silver hair. And of course, you can get, let's see here, vitiligo, you can get skin color loss, and you can get aneurysms in your brain and aorta and die from those, from that same deficiency. One deficiency causes all those different diseases and symptoms. Now you have osteoporosis of the skull is what your problem is. Did your doctor tell you had osteoporosis of the skull?
actually, I don't go to doctors
Okay,
because I'm retired from the, I'll say medical field, and I've seen too many.
Yeah, okay. Question,
What I've
quick
seen too
question.
much.
Okay, quick question. Do you have any other issues, any high blood pressure, diabetes, or arthritis, or sciatica, anything like that?
I've had sciatica since like 1993.
Okay. Okay, well, sciatica is a back problem, squeezing the sciatic nerves, and you get stuff going down your legs and maybe even hammer toes and tingling, numbness, and pain in your feet and ankles and that kind of stuff. Do you have
Yes.
anything going on in your hands and wrists? Anything going on in your hands and wrists and fingers, sugar finger, or anything like that?
No,
Okay. Have you lost your sense of smell or taste?
no.
All right. Well, you have ONA. ONA. ONA is an abbreviation for optic nerve atrophy. When you have osteoporosis of the skull, it squeezes the eighth cranial nerve, which causes the tinnitus, the ringing in the ear, balance problems. You can also, let's see here, cause, let's see here, I said the vertigo, can also cause ONA, optic nerve atrophy. It squeezes the optic nerve, the optic artery going into the eye, and the optic vein coming back out of the eye. I've won so many bets with eye doctors that I said, I can reverse that very quickly. And they said, no, you're a GD liar, Wallach. And I had a bet with them. The one guy he gave me 27 charts and he couldn't argue because those were his patient. He picked them. They were legally blind, 6, 8, 10 years. And in 90 days, they could all read 20/20 without glasses on my program I'm going to give you here. So pay attention. You got to get rid of all the bad foods. Absolutely no fried food, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no brown rye oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. And then at, let's see here, you said you weighed 111 pounds. I want you to get one healthy brain and heart pack per month, but I want you to get another bottle of R-Selenium, not from the grocery store, not from the pharmacy, not from Walgreens, but I want you to get our extra selenium. One bottle of our selenium comes with the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, but I want you to take 3 twice a day or 2 3 times a day for a total of 6 a day of our selenium. There's 5 cofactors in our selenium. No other selenium on the market has these cofactors. These cofactors, when you're deficient in them, you get vitiligo, you get spider veins, you get varicose veins, you get gray hair, you get sciatica, you get osteoporosis of the skull. You got all of them. Did you ever get any hiccups or COPD?
No.
Okay, good. All right. So again, I want you to have one Healthy Brain and Heart Pack and another bottle of selenium, so you can take 3 of those twice a day. The Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, I want you to take a half a dose of everything at breakfast, half a dose at dinner time. There's, I know, 8 or 10 different products in there. And then I also want you to get our MSM, get 1 bottle of our MSM, so you can take 3 twice a day. It's a big bottle. You can do that with 1 bottle. And they will support and promote maintenance repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone, makes your bone itself. That'll help you get rid of the osteoporosis of the skull and all of these various things that are caused by this. We actually have a book out. It's called It's All in Your Head. You might want to get the book so you can read the details.
I've bought it.
Okay, good. And then let's see here. The sciatica will go away within 90 days. I don't care if you've had it for 40, 50 years. You'll rebuild your disc with that and it'll go away. I also want you to have 3 of our, let's see here, 3 of our vitamin D3 capsules twice a day. It's 2 bottles a month. I want you to have our glucogel twice a day. Take 3 capsules twice a day. It'd be 1 bottle a month. If you prefer the liquid, you can get 1 quart a month and take a ½ an ounce at breakfast, ½ an ounce at dinner time. And then I would also throw in the, let's see here, Fucoid Z capsules. Take 3 twice a day, support your immune system and anti-inflammatory. It has 8 or 9 different seaweeds from an ocean, and it's really, really great stuff. So if you want something to drink, we have coffee, we have robust coffee, we have decaf coffee. We have our Rebound or sports drink with 100 nutrients in it. Comes in little paper sticks, in 30 in a box, or it comes in cans. And so these are the sort of things you want to do. And call us every 2 weeks, because at your age, you're sort of that age where people between ages of 40 and 75 get all these things, and doctors tell them, look, this is your age, you're bound to get these things. They're innate. Yeah, it's absolutely not true. These are not aging. They're all nutritional deficiency diseases, which you can reverse very quickly. 90 days, you should all be gone.
What
But how
about
long?
Activa or Vision FX?
Okay.
Would
Okay.
that help with the macular?
Okay. Well, that's why I wanted you to throw in. That's why I wanted you to throw in the Fucoid Z. Take 3 of those twice a day. But if you want to take the Occutiv, I don't think there's an A on the end, unless they've added it recently.
No, it's Occutiv. You're right.
Okay. Occutiv.
I started that. I've only been on it about a week, though.
Okay, yeah. So you can go ahead and take 1 twice a day. It'll be 2 bottles a month, because they come 30 in a bottle. I do that. I take 1 twice a day, and I take the Vision FX. I take 3 of those twice a day. I didn't want to load you up with too much, but it will give the eye, more nutrition, so it can heal faster. But again, I've taken these people who were diagnosed for 6, 8, 10, 12 years being totally blind, as having macular degeneration and glaucoma and cataracts, all this kind of stuff. It was really just ONA, optic nerve atrophy. And so, the doctors had to pay off. They paid off big time, because they had to pay for all the supplements for all their patients. That there's 12 patients, and they had to pay me some stuff, including a very expensive bottle of red wine from France.
Okay.
Okay, so you'll have a great time with this, because as when you go back to your doctor, if you go to a doctor, you said you didn't go to doctors, but if you do ever go to a doctor, the one who diagnosed you with what you got.
I did go to an optometrist, and I have an appointment with a retinal specialist next week.
Okay, well, give me 90 days. Yeah. Well, of course, he's got kids in college and tuition is due.
Of course.
Okay, so but don't agree to any surgery until give me 90 days. Okay, good.
All righty.
Okay, Christy, right?
Yes.
Okay, God bless you, dear.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Christy. So Dr. Wallach, you had mentioned something about trigger finger, and we have a question. You said that was associated with osteoporosis of the skull, correct?
I'm sorry, I missed you were kind of buzzing there.
Trigger finger?
Oh, trigger finger. Yeah, that's osteoporosis of the skull. And doctors will say, oh, doctors want to attribute to carpal tunnel syndrome and all that kind of stuff. But it's like hammer toes when you have osteoporosis of the back. You have sciatica, squeezing the sciatic nerves, and you get all this pain down in your feet, and you put something on your feet and nothing happens. You got to use our CM cream, our trauma oil, and our Soothe on your back for temporary pain relief, and the pain in the feet will go away. Same thing.
Perfect.
Put all this stuff on your shoulders and your neck and the back of your skull, and all the stuff in your hands go away.
Awesome. So let's talk about the pain in the feet, because Urel wrote in and said, what can I do to get rid of neuropathy? I don't know. He says, when I walk, it feels like I'm walking on gravel with swollen feet.
Okay, well, neuropathy in the feet, of course, is caused by sciatica. That's a back thing. They may shrink an inch or 2. Vertebrae get closer together, smash the nerves. They may just have osteoporosis of the vertebrae straight, and also squeezing the sciatic nerves. And this causes peripheral neuropathy. It's the same thing. They say, oh man, when I lay down at night, it's terrible, because that position squeezes those nerves more than when you're standing up straight or sitting with a vertical back. But neuropathy is one of the easiest things to get rid of, because it's a very simple nutritional deficiencies. And again, Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, 1 per 100 pounds of body weight. MSM, 3 twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight. Vitamin D3, glucogel. It wouldn't hurt to throw in the collagen peptides, a dose of that powder in the middle of the day, because it has collagen from 4 different classes of animals. There's fish and poultry and sheep and beef. And so we're very, very proud of that one. It very quickly helps with the neuropathy, but you have to take everything else. Everybody wants to say, well, can I just take an aspirin or can I just take 1 pill? No, this is a very complicated thing. You got like 18 things going on there, and every one of those 18 things needs 90 essential nutrients. And so, you know, you just can't. That's why we came up with these packages, because we didn't want people to have to sit there and figure out exactly everything they needed. But we do have what we call secret sauces. Let's say you have, and many people do, let's say they have 20 different diseases. You know, they've got diabetes and high blood pressure, and they've got peripheral neuropathies. They got atrial fibrillation, tachycardia. They've got hiccups. They got asthma. They got ringing in their ears. They're losing their vision. They have IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. They have gastroparesis, pain in their stomach. All this stuff. It takes a different set of nutrients for every one of those, but they all need the 90. So you have to take the 90 and then a secret sauce for each one of these. And that's why we came out with that package called the trilogy of books. Well, now it's the quartet of books. Let's Play Doctor, Let's Play Herbal Doctor, Passport Growing Therapy, and It's All in Your Head. Those 4 books will cover 600 different diseases. Tell you what to do for them.
Yeah, so Dr. Wallach, I found out that It's All in Your Head is sold out on Amazon. So I want to make sure everybody knows that you can go to drwallach.com and you will find Dr. Wallach's books there as well. So is it DRJ?
DRJ, yeah, DRJ
Wallach.com. And that'll be coming right from his warehouse. So it's exciting that it's sold out on Amazon.
Oh yeah, it's
Absolutely.
yeah, it's because Amazon gets so many calls about that book, and so of course they're not printing it. They have to come to us to fulfill their orders. So we're happy to do that, and so it's very good. Get it out there, save as many as we can.
Absolutely. All right. So Marianne put a question in the comments here. In regards to a male, 74 years old, 5 foot 10 inches, A1C is 5.6, BP is 122/68. The prostate has gradually enlarged, restricting urine stream. What should he take to reduce the prostate?
Okay, see, I would ask him, does he have sciatica? Does he have any back problems? Because 99% of the time, when a doctor says, oh, you have a prostate problem, they really have a back problem, squeezing the sciatic nerves to control the bladder. Because when a woman has urinary problems, they can't say she got a prostate problem, okay?
Right.
And so you always have to ask, do you see his blood sugar is under control? So I'm assuming he's got diabetes, he's taking medication. A1C 5.6 is good. 122/68. I think my blood pressure is like 68/40, and I'm 82 years old. And that's because I take all my supplements and I walk 2 miles a day, do 20 push-ups twice a day. And, you know, I could probably take on 5 guys by myself right now. It's, you know, I did it many times in my life, was in the military 27 years. So what we're going to do for this guy is get him off all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens. Then I want him to, because he's 122 pounds, I want to have 1 Healthy Brain and Heart Pack per month, get another bottle of the selenium so he can take 3 twice a day. I'm going to get 1 bottle of the MSM so he can take 3 of those twice a day. I want him to get the vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day, 2 bottles a month. And then the collagen, I want him to take, let's see here, glucogel, 5 of those twice a day, is 2 bottles a month. And because he probably has a blood sugar problem, do not cold turkey off the medication, but get him on 2 bottles a month of our sweeties so he can take 3 of those twice a day. And as he's testing his blood sugar on a daily basis or 3 times a week, as his blood sugar is coming down, he can slowly reduce his medication based on the numbers as he's been taught to do. And usually we take people that have been on medication for diabetes for 20, 25, 30 years. And in 2 weeks' time, they're able to reduce their medication by 50%. And another 2 weeks, you're totally off of medication, because type 2 diabetes, which makes up 98% of the diabetic population, is a very simple nutritional deficiency. Now, bouncing back to the prostate, in addition to all these things, which is going to help the back, which is, I think, what's going on with this guy's quote prostate, unquote. But if he also wants to take something from the prostate, which I do, I take 3 of our ProstFX capsules twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. And it gives very specific nutrients that the prostate requires to do its function. And so you're kind of covering both bases there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. Let's go to our next hand up. Carol. Carol, go ahead and unmute yourself. You're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The gal before, I think, answered some of my questions. It sounds like I do have the osteoporosis of the skull on the symptoms that you were describing. But I was wondering, is it like a one size fits all? I'm about the same age. Well, I'm 72. I'm 5 foot and I'm 145. So I'm heavy.
About 40 pounds. Yeah, about 40 pounds overweight.
40? I thought I was 25. That's depressing. But anyway, is it kind of a the packs that you were mentioning? It went by too fast for me. I'm gonna have to listen to the recording so I can write these down if I get the spelling right, I guess. But anyway, is it like a one size fits all? I'm quite a bit heavier.
What goes by body weight? And so, no, I would just take exactly the same thing. Even though you're a few pounds more than her, I would just go with the same thing. Stay away from the same bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat bar rhinos, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. And you will be a miracle. Like I say, in 2 to 4 weeks, you're going to see magic. In 6 to 8 weeks, it could be everything can be totally gone. But certainly within 90 days, you'll be a new woman. Now, to lose the weight.
I also have high blood pressure that I take medication for, probably because of my weight. But
okay, well, no.
Oh, okay.
Do you have a kidney issue?
No.
Okay, well, you may have, and you don't know it yet. The kidney releases a hormone called renin, which drives your blood pressure up. And so what I want you to do is get our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets to add to your program. Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, take 3 twice a day. And I take people that haven't urinated in 10 years, are on dialysis six times a week. And then in 2 weeks' time, they're on dialysis only 3 times a week because they've started urinating again after 10 years. And then after 2 more weeks, they're totally off a dialysis, which they've been on for 25 years because they didn't want to get a kidney transplant. I do this thousands of times a month all over the world. This is very, very easy to deal with kidney issues and blood pressure. And so your blood pressure will be the healthy, let's see here, the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets will support healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through the blocked arteries. You have blocked arteries in your kidneys, maybe your brain, coronary arteries, and you're kind of like a savings account for the doctor. Okay, he's going to say, yeah, well, let's just keep an eye on this. You know, we may have to do a coronary bypass. We may have to put some stents in, all that kind of stuff. Because, you know, when college tuition is due, that's when you need the operation. And so by doing these things we've just said, the diet plus the supplement program, all of this goes away because of nutritional deficiency diseases.
Interesting. Well, I did have a stroke about 3 years ago.
Okay,
and,
now what? Well, now wait a minute. What type of stroke was it? Was it a blood clot or was it a hemorrhage?
It was through high blood pressure. I've always had high cholesterol, and I thought, oh boy, caught up with me. They put me in the hospital overnight, ran all kinds of tests, MRI on my head. They did heart and everything, and my veins were clean, but I've always had high cholesterol.
Okay,
And
well,
I thought,
cholesterol
that's weird.
well, cholesterol does not cause blocked arteries. That was a lie.
And that was, yeah, but I did not have blocked arteries. They said my arteries.
Did you put you on statin drugs?
They still wanted to put me on.
Don't do it.
No. I tried the Lipitor, but we do hiking a lot. And I noticed all my joints were getting I couldn't move very well. I didn't realize it was the Lipitor.
Yeah,
And,
well, statin drugs will actually cause Alzheimer's disease.
Well,
Yeah,
I took it for like a week and then
Yeah.
got off Lipitor. I was fine. All my joints were back to normal.
Okay, good.
And,
Okay,
but I won't
Okay.
take that.
okay, Rebecca, how are we doing here?
All right. So thank you so much, Carol, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Yes, it's just Carol.
Awesome.
Oh,
Awesome. Oh, okay. So Dr. Wallach, the next person actually wrote in and was my first email or my next email that I was going to go to. So Julie, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hi,
And
Julie.
you are live with Dr. Wallach, Julie.
Great. Hi.
Hi.
I was diagnosed with pulmonary arterial hypertension about 6 months ago, and I've been in and out of the hospital. I'm very emotional right now because it's been very hard for me. I have had a lot of fluid in my lungs. I'm 62 years old. I'm 5'2" tall. I weigh about 135, and it fluctuates because of the fluid on my body a lot. I go ahead.
Okay, do you have any high blood pressure or diabetes?
No, I don't have any diabetes. I have asthma, and that's about. I
Okay.
did have high blood pressure before years ago, but my blood pressure is always really low now. I don't know if that means I
Okay.
have to have it or what.
Okay, let's stop there a minute.
Okay.
Do you have any skin problems, any eczema, dermatitis, or psoriasis?
I'm starting to get that. I noticed a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a nutritional deficiency caused by gluten, okay, blocking your intestines. You can't absorb it, so you need to get off of gluten, no wheat, no rye and oats. You can't
Okay.
have oatmeal for breakfast. You can't have any fried foods of any kind, okay? You cannot have any breakfast of champions, no waffles, no pancakes, no spaghetti factory, none of that kind, no flour tortillas.
Okay.
Okay, if you're gonna drink beer, it's gotta be rice beer from Australia.
I don't drink beer.
Okay, good. All right, and so there you go. But all these things you have, do you have any bowel problems, any irritable bowel syndrome, constipation?
I have constipation and diarrhea off and on, and it's not been regular for months.
Okay, so you're probably IBS or Crohn's disease or something like that, celiac disease, one of those. So you have a very severe gluten problem. All of these are caused by gluten. Gluten alert. You don't work in a bakery, do you?
No.
Do you work in a
No.
restaurant?
No, I don't.
Do you cook for a lot of people?
No.
Okay. You need to stay away from gluten. Don't even say the word.
Okay. I will do that.
Okay. Then at 135 pounds, I want you to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. They have all the nutrients in there that's going to help you with your asthma, your bowel problems, your skin issues, also your pulmonary issues. This can be, do you have any tinnitus or ringing in the ears or balance problems?
I don't have any tinnitus, but I'm always short of breath and I'm always about ready to pass out.
Okay, well, that could be COPD, and they're calling it asthma, but it could be COPD. Do you ever get hiccups?
No.
Okay, good. Do you have any back problems, any sciatica, anything in your legs or arms?
I have some back problems. I kind of attribute that to not having a really good mattress or whatever, but it's just no.
It's all attributed to that gluten. You're not absorbing nutrition.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Again, none of the bad foods. I want you to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I want you to get 2 bottles a month of our MSM. So you can take 3 with each meal. That's 9 a day, 3 with breakfast, 3 with lunch, 3 with dinner time. And they're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone, makes your bone itself, skull, skin, bowel, the walls of the bowels, which have a lot of connective tissue in it, the walls of arteries and veins. Do you have gray hair? You're coloring your hair?
No, I don't color my hair. And I have maybe just a few up there, but I do have a few.
Okay, the answer is yes. Okay.
Yes.
Do you have any varicose veins or spider veins?
Uh-huh. Yes.
Okay, well, there you go. And so, yeah, and so then I want you to also have, let's say I said the 2 bottles of MSM. I want you to take vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day, MSM, and three of the vitamin D3 twice a day, 2 bottles a month. I want you to get 2 bottles a month of the glucogel, so you can take 5 twice a day. That'll be 5 capsules twice a day. And then for something you want to drink, we do have our rebounder sports drink with 100 nutrients in it. Okay, you don't want to be drinking diet cola, but if you want to have caffeine-free coffee or robust coffee, we have those. Our Java Fit coffees. We own the plantations. We fertilize the bushes with all our minerals and things. And so call us every 2 weeks because you are going to help a lot of people. Just getting rid of the bad foods, you're going to lose the weight you need to lose. I don't think you need to lose much at 5'2", 135 pounds. You're about right. But all of these issues you have are all due to gluten, every one of them. And so you're going to see magic in 2 weeks and 6 weeks and 8 weeks and 10 weeks. You're going to see magic here. And
I really hope so. I've been listening to you on Coast to Coast forever, and I'm so happy to be able to talk to you.
Okay, Julie. Well, thank you. You're going to be a star because your stories, your testimony is going to be very good, help a lot of people. If you happen to need to go to the doctor, it's a regular appointment or whatever, he might. I have people tell me my doctor said this all this lab work can't be right because I had all these problems for 20 years and now some of them are gone and some are 50% better. He said I probably got somebody else's stuff, so he redid the test and it came back the same. And he didn't ask me what I was doing. He just says keep doing what you're doing. The doctors never want to know what you're doing.
Right. I have one more question. They have got my doctor, my pulmonologist has got me on a drug inhaler. It's called Ivaso. I'm on tadalafil, furosemide, all this stuff, and I'm wondering I'd like to not have to take all that.
Okay, what you want to do? Okay, what you do? Since you have a respiratory problem, you want to continue taking your respiratory medication.
Okay.
And say, well, I'm feeling pretty good here. And so I'm going to reduce my medication by 10%.
Okay.
It might take you 2 weeks. And then after another 2 weeks, I'll reduce another 10%. Don't just cold turkey off of it.
Right. Okay. That's what I kind of figured. All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Julie. I'm glad you were able to get on and talk to Doc yourself. That's fabulous. So I want to remind everybody because when I'm dealing with people, I'm not dealing with them. When I'm able and honored to be able to work individually with people, they're always like, there's gluten in everything. That's impossible. Well, Dr. Wallach, actually Chef Norman, has put out a cookbook that features Dr. Wallach's way of eating and cooking. So I want to encourage everybody to go out. It's on Amazon. You can actually find it on our website. Dr. Wallach's holding up the book there.
DRJ Wallach, drjwallach.com.
There as well. And also on the AskDocLive.com under the books. And it's Dr. Wallach's Cooking with the Good and Bad Foods cookbook.
Cooking without the bad foods.
Oh, without the bad foods. Sorry, it keeps going back and forth, so I don't see it there.
Okay. Well, let me read to you a paragraph. This was a 3-year study by three TV chefs in Eastern Canada. They were really onto my neck because I'm saying don't eat gluten, don't eat oils, don't do this, don't do that, and they got on me and they said, okay, Wallach, this can't be right. People have been eating this way for thousands of years. They said, well, that's why we're in trouble. This is not correct. And so they said, okay, let's do a study here. So I said, hey, I'm in. And so what we did for 3 years was in Eastern Canada. They got a questionnaire, and these guys, are TV chefs, and they also worked in big restaurants and hotels and things. And so they put these questionnaires out in the restaurants, and people had their choice whether they wanted to take our foods or the regular ones. And so this is what the chef said, Chef Norman. He was the chief of these 3 chefs here. 3-year study. I have worked with the culinary industry for well over 20 years. When I first encountered Dr. Wallach's food recommendations, I believe it was impossible to cook that way. In the food industry, oil and gluten are ubiquitous and everybody loves it. Fortunately, I was wrong. And in the last 2 years, we have recreated every dish I can think of without the forbidden ingredients. We have gone back to the basics of cooking, and we have fit Dr. Wallach's recommendations into all of the methods I was taught in chef school. I've done my best to include as many variations of traditional recipes, so this book should be able to feed a family a huge variety of healthy food that also tastes good and retains the qualities of taste and texture you love. Now, this book is 300 pages of recipes. 300 pages of recipes, okay? And again, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods, okay? And Chef Norman, he was the chief of the three chefs, Chef Norman, and organized all this because the three of them, you know, they're high-fiving and didn't believe me and they were going to just beat me up, and they came along.
Well, I'm glad they did, because I always have people asking if there's a cookbook. Is
Well,
there
there
a
is.
cookbook that'll help me? And now there is. Now, Pamela just put up a question, Dr. Wallach. She says she knows that there's no oil. Does that include solid coconut oil? And if dairy intolerant, is coconut milk okay?
No, because coconut milk has a little bit of the oil in it. Okay, it's not just coconut water. It has a little bit of the oil in it. And, you know, if you're going to eat some coconut, you just want to eat the coconut meat. And then you better be taking lots of antioxidants, take extra selenium that day and so forth. But our EFAs and EFA pluses are extracted, our EFAs are extracted from seeds, or EFA pluses are extracted from fish livers. We do this in a room that's filled with nitrogen. Everybody has to, you know, be in scuba outfit. Okay. And so then they're put into soft capsules that are flushed with nitrogen before we put the oils in them. And they're sealed. Then the bottles are flushed with nitrogen before we put those capsules in there. Then it's sealed. And then we put the top on and seal it again. So our stuff, EFAs and EFA pluses, can be on a shelf for a year, and they're not going to oxidize because they're in a nitrogen filled bottle and the capsules and stuff. And so this is very important. This is one of the things we went out of our way. Nobody has gone to that extreme to make sure that there's no oxidation of they're essential nutrients. They're essential nutrients. And people say, well, what about olive oil? Well, you want to kill yourself, go ahead and eat olive oil. If you want olive oil, just go to the tree, pick the olive off of it and eat it. But you can't have olive oil, just olive oil, in a bottle sitting on your kitchen table every day at room temperature. It's going to kill you because it oxidizes and turns into trans fats, heterocyclamines, and acrylamides, which cause cancer and all kinds of inflammation.
Yeah, so any of these things that are taken out of their natural existence and they're exposed to oxygen, look at the word oxidation, right there, and it's exposed to oxygen, it's going to start oxidizing. So we want to take that out of our diet.
Well, I've got another big story. Now, I'm not going to give it to you now because we're copywriting it. Okay. This big story, had part of it's about oxidation, and I'm just going to stop there. I'll just say this is a big story coming out. So we are copywriting it so nobody can steal it. Now, the reason I'm copywriting it, when I came up with a cause, prevention, and cure of cystic fibrosis and told them it wasn't a genetic thing at the Yerkes Primate Center, I was working for NASA. They fired me because they said, well, like, you're nuts. Everybody knows this is a genetic thing. And then we gave Jerry Lewis a bunch of our charts of kids that Marvin Ropp and I were working with, the Amish community, that had muscular dystrophy, which we're going to talk about in the next hour, muscular dystrophy. And we were curing them right, left, and center. And we gave it to Jerry Lewis. He checked it out with the doctors who confirmed that they were no longer muscular dystrophy patients. Jerry Lewis was so excited after 20 years of the telethon, he took it to the Muscular Dystrophy Association and they fired Jerry Lewis. And so, and you haven't heard anything but about the telethon and Jerry Lewis since they fired him. And so the Muscular Dystrophy Association, we actually forced through federal courts that these baby formulas put these nutrients in the baby formulas, Enfamil, Similac. We won April 16, 2013. And so this is a federal court issued demand on these manufacturers. We ended cystic fibrosis, we ended muscular dystrophy, and as a side benefit, we ended sudden death syndrome. Mothers were not laying on their babies. It was simple nutritional deficiency disease. And doctors didn't know it, so they blamed it on the mothers.
Right. Well, takes that feeling of guilt that it is not the mother's fault.
No, the mothers were not laying on the babies. The babies were dying of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, heart disease, It's the same thing. Dr. Milan and I, we went to China. We did 1,700 autopsies on kids under the age of 10. 1,700 autopsies. That's why the federal court ruled in our favor, because they couldn't go against it. It was published in 3 languages.
Yeah. Wow. So one more question, because we are at the top of the hour. Pamela wanted to know about using kefir for probiotics. So I know kefir can be either a water kefir or a milk kefir. So I'm thinking maybe she's thinking of the water kefir.
Well, kefir's been around a long time. Basically, you have to watch it, because when you're talking about probiotics and kefir, a lot of times they will put soy in there, like tofu kind of thing. And so you really have to watch it and read labels 6 times and make sure that there's no gluten in there of any way, shape, or form. And so I that's why we came out with all of our we have all of these healthy.
Yeah, we have a great line of probiotics, Dr. Wallach.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got the microbiome, we have the nightly essence, we have Flora FX.
Yeah,
I mean,
the Flora FX is a great one. Flora FX is a great one.
Yeah, I absolutely love them. Absolutely love them. Well, let's go ahead and go to our break. We are going to take 5 minutes here on the Ask Doc Live. I would like to encourage all of you to get up and stretch, move your bodies, get some blood flowing through, and we will be back in about 5 minutes. And again, if anybody invited you to this program, get back with the person that invited you to this program and thank them for giving you the opportunity to ask Dr. Wallach specifically about your own health concerns, or the fact that you were able to listen in and hear what Dr. Wallach is saying about other health concerns that may be affecting you. So we will be right back. Don't go anywhere, because we have another hour of Ask Doc Live coming right up. All right, thank you everybody for sticking around with us during that short break. Again, I hope you got up and stretched and got some of the fluids moving through your body, filled up your glass, because you want to make sure that you are staying hydrated, especially when we are in the summer months. For those of you who are in the States, I know in other places of the world, you are in a different season, but I love the fact that we are able to come together all in one place and get information that we need to help us live optimal lives. Now, if you have never ordered before and you are interested in getting information about what's going to be best for you and you'd like to place an order, we do have a call team that is standing by at 855-949-7234. But again, that's if you have never ordered longevity products before, but most importantly, you have not spoken to anybody about the longevity products. If you were sent here to check out this program by somebody specific, you need to get back with them. Don't call the call team. Get back with the person that invited you to this program. Now, for those of you who are really interested and wanting to know all about Dr. Wallach's research, about the products, about how you can help yourself and your community, we do have a certified holistic health coach program that is available, not specifically through Critical Health News or longevity, but we have a program that's available through the Institute of Holistic Health that will help you learn what you need to, whether you want to use it just to help yourself or you want to make a business of it. The program also teaches that. You can find more information about that by calling our specialists at 855-949-3377. Again, that is for information about our certified holistic health coach program. So let's go ahead and we are going to be getting back here with Dr. Wallach. Dr. Wallach, go ahead and unmute yourself. Are you ready to keep going?
Let's go.
All right. Well, let's go to our next hand up. And our next hand is David. And again, I want to remind everybody, if you have a camera and you're able to bring up your camera, your picture is worth 1,000 words for Dr. Wallach in making sure that he's giving you the information you need as well, in addition to your answers to his questions. So, David, you are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hi, Dr. Wallach.
Hi, David. How can we help you?
Hey, I've got a couple questions here. My sister has thrombocytosis. Her platelet count is recently up to 675,000. And she was on hydroxyurea, but that started to fail. And she's now just started taking Jakafi.
Okay, stop there. How old is she?
51 years old.
I'm sorry, I missed, I only got half the number. Say again.
51 years old.
I'm still not getting it. I'm still not getting the first number.
61
Oh,
years.
okay, 61, okay.
She's 5'5",
Okay,
107 pounds.
okay. Does she have any other issues other than high platelets? Does she have high blood pressure, diabetes, kidney issues? Is she on dialysis?
No, the only thing she has is the platelet disorder. It had been up to over 1 million about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Down-
Okay, I want to stop you there. I would bet that she has other issues. Does she have any bowel problems? You know, any irritable bowel syndrome or constipation, diarrhea, anything like that?
No,
Does she have gray or white or silver hair?
she sure does.
Okay. Does she have any varicose veins that she complains about?
No,
Okay. Does she have any bowel problems? Any constipation, diarrhea, IBS?
not very often. She pretty much tells me, gives me a full report every day on her condition. We live
Okay.
live together, so I'm
Okay.
monitoring.
Does she ever complain about anemia? Do they ever say she's also anemic?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Okay, I already know what her problem is.
Okay.
All right. She has bone marrow dysplasia. Did they ever tell her that?
I do not believe so.
Okay, yeah, she got bone marrow dysplasia, which is kind of like osteoporosis of the bone marrow. And did she have any ring in her ears or balance problems or pain in her arms and neck and hands?
She sure does. Until recently with hydroxyurea, she had a lot of leg pain, bone pain.
Okay, peripheral neuropathies and osteoporosis of the skull.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. And so, yeah, so it's more than just high platelets is what I'm getting at here. High platelets is a symptom of something else. So she's got bone marrow dysplasia. And did she ever go to the doctor and get iron shots or B12 shots or anything like that?
She got iron.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
She was
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Her, what should I say? I have to bite my tongue here. Yeah, she's got bone marrow dysplasia. And, you know, the next step, these doctors say, you know, you need a bone marrow transplant and it's going to cost $100,000, but don't worry about it. Insurance will pay for most of it. And this is really, really a sad thing. This is not aging. This is not autoimmune. This is not anything like that. This is a simple nutritional deficiency disease, always secondary to chronic gluten issues. All right. So she's got to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, bread, rye, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. And at 107 pounds, I want her to have one healthy brain and heart pack per month, get another bottle of Arsalam, not from Walgreens, but Arsalam, because I got those 5 cofactors in there, because I want her to have 6 of these selenium a day, 3 twice a day or 2 3 times a day, whichever is easier for her. And then I also want her to have our MSM. I want her to get 2 bottles of MSM. She can take 3 with each meal. 3 with each meal. And they're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone rakes, bone itself. And she also needs 2 bottles of immortalium, which will stimulate the bone marrow to make more red blood cells and make more antibodies and that kind of stuff, more white blood cells. And so I want her to have the immortalium, 2 bottles a month, so you can take 3 of those twice a day. And let's see here. I also wanted to have the vitamin D3. Take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. And I think let's start there. Oh, one other thing, I do wanted to have the Fucoid C capsule. That's our seaweed from an ocean, 8 or 9 different seaweeds in there. And take 3 of those capsules twice a day. That's going to support our immune system, but also is a particular stimulant for bone marrow to make healthy red blood cells and white blood cells and so forth. So she's got a lot more going on than just too many platelets.
Right.
Okay, second question.
Second question for me is, I am scheduled to get a hip replacement on my right hip. And it's been bothering me for quite a while. And so far, it looks like the femoral head has been flattened, according to the X-ray and the MRI.
Mhm.
And I do
Okay.
have I do have some neuropathy in my finger.
Okay, so neuropathy. Okay, and
And high blood
flattened-
pressure. Oh,
Okay, high blood pressure. Do you have any gray hair?
yes.
Okay, how old are you? What do you weigh?
165, I weigh 192 pounds.
65, 192.
I'm
Is that
5'10".
correct?
Yeah,
5'10".
You're right.
Okay, do you have any other issues? Any skin problems? Any bowel problems?
No.
Any
no.
varicose veins?
I've noticed on both of my knees, I'm seeing a little bit of varicose veins starting. I mean, I've never had them before.
Okay, well, see, they're not a genetic thing. They're not an age thing. They're a nutritional deficiency thing. So, do you have any bowel problems? Any irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, celiac disease, diverticulitis, anything like that?
No, I don't.
Do you have any history of hiccups?
No hiccups.
Okay. Do you have anything going on with your heart? Tachycardia, atrial fibrillation, anything like that?
No, just simply the high blood pressure.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, here we go. Again, you need to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bread, ryenos, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. 192 pounds. I want you to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, a full dose of everything twice a day. And then I want you to get 2 bottles of MSM, so you can take 3 with each meal. And that's going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone makes bone itself. And then I want you to take our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Take 3 of those twice a day. There's 2 bottles a month, and they will support healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through blocked arteries. And your varicose veins will go away. Your gray hair will go away. These things will actually help you rebuild connective tissue in the walls of your arteries, your veins, muscles, also the head of the femur. As long as there's circulation, which did they tell you there's still circulation to the head of the femur?
They are telling me that there might be some necrosis in there.
Okay, so we'll see, because if there's still some circulation to that head of that femur, we can rebuild it. And so, I would just give it a little bit of time, give it a month or so before you decide on any surgery.
Okay.
Okay, but you got to jump on this. You can start the diet immediately when you hang up.
And the Ultimate Daily that you just mentioned again, that was
No, Ultimate Daily Classic.
Classic. Got it.
Mhm.
Excellent.
And that will support healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through blocked arteries. Do you have any kidney issues that you know of?
Not that I know of, sir.
Okay, well, it wouldn't hurt. You can test yourself. You just go to the pharmacy without a prescription, get some test strips for urine test, and give you some clue what's going on with your kidneys.
Okay.
I think that they're like $1.50 each. You can afford it.
Got it.
Okay, and let's hear from you. Let's hear from you on yourself and your sister. Okay.
I sure will. Thank you so much, doctor.
Okay. God bless you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, David.
Bye-bye, David.
I appreciate you.
Dr. Wallach, Yvonne wrote in the comments that she has bone marrow dysplasia. She's been following your protocol for 12 months and her numbers have been steadily improving. So
Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful?
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Absolutely.
Thank you, Yvonne. Yeah, no, we do this thousands of times a month all over the world.
Now, Dr. Wallach, just before the break, you had mentioned we were going to be talking about muscular dystrophy, and we're going to also talk about multiple sclerosis. And I would like to bring our co-host, Ruth Ellen Sanchez, on to go ahead and discuss those conditions with you. So Ruth
Okay.
Ellen.
Hello, Dr. Wallach.
Yes, Ruth Ellen.
Okay, so I have several clients that have multiple sclerosis and one that has muscular dystrophy, sorry. Can you talk about what's the difference between the two and how you would go about helping a person with those conditions?
Okay, well, just briefly on the front end, multiple sclerosis is a brain degenerative disease, and muscular dystrophy is a nutritional deficiency of the musculoskeletal system. It could be in an embryo, it could be, you could be 50 years old and get it. Okay, then they start talking about fibromyalgia when you're 50 years old and you get it, but when you're born with it, they call it muscular dystrophy. But it's all just nutritional deficiencies. It's not genetic in any way, shape, or form. And of course, just before we went to the break, we talked about this, Marvin Ropp and I giving, a dozen charts from kids in Utah, Indiana, and Eastern Canada that we had actually reversed their muscular dystrophy in. And the oldest one was, I think, 31. They've been born with it and just getting worse and worse. Was 31 years old. And, in a year's time was gone. And so we gave Jerry Lewis a dozen of those charts. And he was so excited, he called the doctors who had signed off on the charts saying that we don't know why, but these kids don't have muscular dystrophy anymore. Because, of course, the medical system believes that it's a genetic disease. And in animals, it's called white muscle disease. And every farmer, without even a high school education, knows what to do to go to the farm store and get the injections for a calf or a lamb with white muscle disease. It's muscular dystrophy in humans, but it's easy to get rid of, easy to prevent. MS, multiple sclerosis, is a developmental thing of the brain. And usually people are born with it, MS, multiple sclerosis, but it's not a genetic thing. It's not an autoimmune thing. It's just mama's deficient in stuff when the brain is developing. And so they have a whole variety of symptoms that can go along with it. And oftentimes it's a fallback diagnosis when doctors can't give a specific diagnosis or something. Say, well, you have MS, you got multiple sclerosis, because it covers a lot of territory. It'd be balance problems, strength problem, memory problems. It can go with vision. It goes with inability to deal with complex things and so on. And so with MS, they need to be eating 3 eggs twice a day, because 17%, no, let me back up, 75% of your brain weight is cholesterol. 75% of your brain weight is cholesterol. So people with MS for sure need to be eating 3 eggs twice. I do it, 3 eggs twice a day. Soft yolks, hard-boiled eggs don't count, and fried eggs cause cancer. So they want to be soft-boiled, soft-poached, soft scrambled butter, because you want that cholesterol to rebuild the white matter of the brain. And then they also want one healthy brain and heart pack for 100 pounds of body weight. They also want the, let's see here, I would go with the synaptive, 3 of those twice a day. Synaptive is the raw materials for your brain cells to make the chemistry that they need to talk to each other. And then also memory effects, wouldn't hurt to take 3 of those twice a day. And let's see here, de-stress capsules, take 3 of those twice a day. Ultimate niacin plus, take 1 twice a day of that one. And I think that's where we want to go for the MS thing. And you'll be amazed, but in both of these cases, muscular dystrophy and MS, no gluten, no wheat, no brown rye oats, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, all that's got to go. But both of them are totally preventable. Muscular dystrophy is totally reversible at any age. And MS, we can improve it significantly, but it depends on the percentage of damage to the brain. And so we'd have to read the charts and get more information and see what the doctor says and so on. But, we can improve it 10%, 25%, 50%. But I've never seen anybody cured of MS. But it's totally 100% preventable if the mother is taking the 90 essential nutrients and eating her eggs and all that kind of stuff, say for at least 3 months before she gets pregnant. Taking
good.
taking prenatal vitamins when you're 2 months into your pregnancy is not very wise. Too late.
Correct. I do have a young lady who is getting prepared to get pregnant, and she's
Mhm.
on the 90
Mhm.
and got prenatal vitamins from her doctor so she can start preparing. And I told her to take both prenatal and the 90. And
Correct.
she had a question because she suffers from a mood disorder, and she wanted to know if she can take de-stress while she's pregnant.
Oh, absolutely. De-stress is very good.
Okay.
De-stress, yes, you could take 3 of those twice a day. And also, she needs to, again, stay away from all the bad foods. But to de-stress wouldn't hurt for her also to take the ultimate niacin, plus you take 1 of those twice a day. And let's see here. Let's start there, but she needs to come on so I can ask her some questions.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Dr. Wallach.
Okay, well, thank you.
Back to you, Rebecca.
Thank you, Ruth Ellen. Great questions. I love the fact that we get a little bit of description of what the conditions are as well, and what we can do to help to prevent for future generations, and also what we can do as a reactive measure now. So, Dr. Wallach, thank you so much for that. Pamela.
Well, just one more thing on that muscular dystrophy. Again, Muscular Dystrophy Foundation, or not foundation, Muscular Dystrophy Association fired Jerry Lewis and stopped the telethon when he brought them those charts, because those doctors felt, they still believe that muscular dystrophy was a genetic thing. Just like they fired me from Yerkes when I said cystic fibrosis wasn't genetic. We thought, well, Jerry Lewis, I mean, he's got the power. So rather than me say something, we gave him all the charts and he took it to him and they fired Jerry Lewis. That's how crazy these people are. They should say, we really don't believe it. Just like these chefs, they say, okay, Wallach, we don't believe that gluten is bad and all this kind of stuff. And so let's have a study here. So we did it for 3 years. And so what the Muscular Dystrophy Association should have done says, okay, this is too wild. We really just can't buy that without looking at it. So let's spend a little time here and do some research and see if Wallach's observations are correct. Okay, that's what they should have done. Fire Jerry Lewis after he raised $2 billion to find the cure. When he brings them the cure, they fire him. That's why you don't hear anything about the Muscular Dystrophy Association anymore.
Well, Dr. Wallach, your research and your approach is disrupting agendas. And it's
in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure. My thesis, 5,000 pages and 20,000 autopsies, is in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure. I'm very proud of that. So they need to ask their doctor, do you have a thesis in the Smithsonian Institute like Dr. Wallach as a national treasure?
Yeah, where's the credibility? So I love the fact that you have it, Dr. Wallach. So in regards to the cookbook, so there are several recipes, and this is Pamela in the comments. There's several recipes with tomatoes. If one has arthritis and has been told to stay away from nightshades, what is Dr. Wallach's suggestion to substitute for tomatoes and bell peppers?
Well, let's see here. After you're on our program for a couple of months, you can add a little piece of tomato and a little piece of bell pepper. So you have to appreciate, they weren't trying to cure arthritis by taking you off of tomatoes and bell peppers. They want to relieve symptoms and manage it, okay, maintain it. So you have to come in every month or something. But once you get rid of your arthritis, you can eat all the tomatoes and bell peppers you want. It has nothing to do with the cause. It's just, it can be an anti-inflammatory thing. And it may be the salad dressings you're putting on there, who knows? But it's one of those things where once you're on the nutritional program, you're off all the bad stuff, give it a little shot. You take a thin slice of a tomato or take a couple of strips of a bell pepper and see if you get any negative reaction.
All right, thank you for that. And Monica is asking the question, can I skip a meal and just take 90 minerals with large amounts of vitamins? I'm a vegan and it's hard to find what to eat.
Okay, well, what I recommend, this is Monica, right?
Yes.
Okay, what I recommend is you become an ovo-lacto pisco vegan. ovo meaning eggs. You take that little white dot off the yolk. When you see a crack a raw egg, there's that little white dot on top of the yolk. That's the chicken. Everything else inside the egg is just raw materials. It's not an animal. The animal's in that little white dot. Take that off, pray on it, bury them, or flush them down the toilet, bury them at sea, and they can soft boil or soft scramble, poach those eggs because they want all that cholesterol and stuff. Being a vegan, you're going to wind up with all kinds of brain problems, including Alzheimer's disease. Okay. Then lacto is milk. What's the first, Rebecca, what's the first diet that all mammals get, whether a whale or a rhinoceros or hippopotamus or gorilla or a human being, a monkey, a horse, any mammal, what's their first food?
Well, in most cases, it's mother's milk.
Milk. So milk is not bad. And so that's kind of an insane approach. And then pisco is fish. And so there's no red meat in fish. And so you want to be an ovo-lacto-pisco vegetarian and take the 90 cents of nutrients, you'll add 25 to 50 healthy years of your life. If you just want to live on tomatoes and bell peppers and beans and squash, you're in trouble.
I know I couldn't do it. And so the next question is, how about avocados? Are avocados okay to eat, Dr. Wallach?
Well, avocado is a very interesting fruit. And, if you take it and you, from the grocery store and you peel it and slice it and eat it, that's fine. But I wouldn't keep it in your house for a week and then eat it because the oils in the avocado oxidize and turn into trans fats and heterocyclic and acrylamides and can be a negative. You certainly don't want to heat them. You can, take and put raw slices in a salad or something like that, or have it as a fruit for breakfast. But don't be heating it, and don't, keep the avocados in your cupboard for a week and then use them, because then, the fats and oils inside the avocado are oxidized.
Yeah, I don't know how anybody could eat it, an oxidized avocado. I love avocado. And I'll take 2 avocados and I'll smash them up. I'll put some of our guacamole mix from our Savers food blend in there and some Himalayan salt. And that will be a meal for me. I absolutely love it. And you're getting the good fats.
Yeah, you're getting the good fats. You're getting fiber, and you're getting, some other vitamins and things just from the flesh of the avocado.
Awesome. So one of our watchers today, Dr. Wallach, would like to know about breast cancer. She has a possible diagnosis and had a biopsy done yesterday.
Okay, all cancers are preventable. They're not genetic, they're not autoimmune, they're based on what you eat, what you don't eat, what things you come in contact with, what things you do not come in contact with. So that's why we stress so much about staying away from all the bad foods, so you can reduce all this inflammation. Also, to reduce your risk of cancer, you want to be taking antioxidants and support your immune system. So if you have a history in your family, it's not a genetic thing, but if you have a history in your family, you're going to eat the same way your family's eating, live in the same area your family's living in. I'd get a hair analysis, get our book, Rare Herbs and Cures, go to, I think it's chapter 10 or 11, and it teaches you how to collect the hair, where to ship it. You should be sure to put the check in there with it, because the lab won't run the test without the check. And they'll send it back to you. And there's 2 charts in there. One is the levels of the essential nutrients, essential minerals. And if they're all below the bottom line, that means, you're not absorbing. That's very useful information. If they're all scattered all over the place, that's what it's supposed to be. And if they're below a certain line, you need to be really seriously supplementing. Well, why not supplement with them all? But then, of course, people always say to me, well, I'm sure I've got some toxic metals. Well, why? Well, I was in the military 25 years ago, or I worked in this factory, or I lived in a big city. Did you ever have a hair analysis? No. Did the doctor do any blood tests for heavy metals? No. Well, in this hair analysis, there's another chart that goes into lead, mercury, all kinds of other metals that people are concerned about. And so it's worth it. I get a hair analysis once a year because I travel so much. I'm on airplanes and buses and trains and all kinds of stuff, drive with people long distances, give talks in various factories and things. So who knows what you get. And so I've been, doing hair analysis every year. So I'm keeping track of what I have, what I don't have. And, because I've been taking all these nutrients for so long, I just don't accumulate the bad metals, because even uranium, I was in the military for 27 years. Who knows how much exposure I had to those kind of things. But I just don't have that stuff because I'm taking all these nutrients, which help your body dump them, which helps your body dump them.
So I'm fascinated by the hair analysis, Dr. Wallach. And in this analysis report, it also talks about the ratios of
Yes.
different minerals in comparison to others. Share with us a little bit about the importance of those ratios.
Well, for instance, if you have the ratio out of balance between phosphorus and calcium, you can take minerals out of your bones. You don't want more phosphorus than calcium. You want more calcium than phosphorus. And it depends on your diet and if you're supplementing or not, where you live, where the water source is, all those kind of things play a part in how much nutrients you're getting. And I'm actually coming out with a big paper on that subject probably by the end of this month. And it's being copywritten before I say anything about it, because, they fired me for saying something once. I was correct, but they fired me anyway from Yerkes. They fired Jerry Lewis. We were correct, but they fired Jerry Lewis because, again, the doctors wouldn't believe that muscular dystrophy was just a simple nutritional deficiency. And so I can't fire myself. I'm not worried about that, but I'm worried about some reporters or some of the people they might show it to get their opinion on it. And they'll say, oh my God, this is the answer. And they'll take it and claim it themselves. So I got to get a copy written before I say anything about
Well, I'm not going to fire you either. You're stuck.
it.
So thank you everybody again for being here with us with Ask Doc Live. Dr. Wallach is sharing a wealth of information, and I know that he speaks fast. That's why we have the replays of our programs posted on the AskDocLive.com website. So you can go back and listen to them again and share them with others. As you're listening through, you're going to be thinking of, oh, this person has that and this person has that. Please share these videos. Let's get this knowledge out there so that we can really make a positive impact on our world.
Okay,
Now,
Rebecca,
let's
let's go back to this breast cancer. I want to put 2 more sentences on this here.
Okay.
Just to do a basic thing, she's got to get rid of all the bad foods, no matter if it's just inflammation or if it's cancer or whatever it is. She's got something going on, which is a negative here. Concerns the doctors, of course. And so none of the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, brown rice, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. And then per 100 pounds of body weight, I want her to have 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. If she only weighs 120, 130, I want her to get another bottle of Arsenal with the 5 cofactors in it. So you take 3 of those twice a day. I also want her to take our killer biotic. Not only does it help your immune system against the COVID virus, but it also helps your immune system against all kinds of stuff, including cancer and so forth. And we can't make any claims about how well it works, but it's a bunch of mushrooms that support your immune system. And then, of course, you want to be taking everything you can. We have oxybody. Oxygen is one of the enemies of cancer. And so per 100 pounds of body weight, I'd have her take an ounce of our oxybody a day. That'd be a ½ ounce twice a day, 1 quart per month. And so let's start by doing those things. And that way she's going to get a head start here, because it's going to take 2 or 3 days or maybe a week to get the answer back there. But she can start on the diet today. And then depending on where she lives, if she lives close to a warehouse, you're going to go pick it up today. If it's going to be shipped to her, it might be 3 days or 5 days based on where she lives. And so, but she needs to get on these things ASAP. And of course, the doctors, if it is cancer, they're going to give her a list of their options and say, here's 10 things. We want to give you these 3. Okay, well, oh, one other thing I do want her to take is the BTT 2.0 tablets. Now, the BTT, that's in addition to the BTT 2.0 powder, which is the vitamins and minerals. That comes with a healthy brain and heart pack. But the BTT 2.0 tablets, they support the immune system and also are anti-inflammatory. I want her to take 3 of those twice a day, so it'll be 1 bottle a month there.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Wallach, for finishing that up. I appreciate that. And I know she does as well. Let's go to our next hand up with our live audience here, and that is Maggie. Maggie, go ahead and unmute yourself. You were on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hi, Maggie.
So I sent you a request. All you have to do is say, okay. and it should unmute you. Oh, let's try again. That turns your video off. No, you're still not unmuted yet. Do you see at the bottom? Do you see the little microphone? It has a red line through it. You want to touch that and unmute. Ah, it's not unmuting. All right, well, let's go to our next live hand that is up, and that is Arlene. Sorry, Maggie. Arlene, go ahead.
Hi,
and yourself. You're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for taking my call.
How can we help you?
I have two quick questions. One is about my cat. He has a cyst. It's about 1 inch long. It's very red. I took him to the vet, and the vet took a biopsy. I haven't had the results back yet, if it's malignant or not. Is there anything I can do?
Well, first of all, how much does the cat weigh?
15 pounds.
16, big guy. So it must be a male, big guy. Okay.
Male.
Yeah, so 16 pounds. I want him to have 1 scoop of our Arthritis, which is our heavy duty vitamin minerals for dogs and cats. That's 1 scoop for 20 pounds of body weight. So I would add to its food the 1 scoop of the Arthritis. I would also give it 1 of our EFA pluses, which it's essential fatty acids, which comes from actually fish, and cats like that. And then again, I would also give it the killer biotic, which has mushrooms in it. And I think I would go ahead and open 2 of those capsules and put that powder in with the food. And then let's see what the biopsy says before we do anything else. Okay?
Okay, thank you. And the other question I have is about myself. I do have varicose veins behind my knees, but now I'm noticing that they're actually coming up into my thigh.
Mhm.
And the other problem I have is in the morning when I wake up, my fingers are very, very stiff, and so are my toes. And I actually have to move, around quite a while before, the pain subsides.
Yeah, so you have peripheral neuropathy. Do you have a back problem?
Sometimes I have lower back pain, but also my neck's been bothering me a lot
Mhm.
too when I wake up in the morning.
Okay. Do you have any ringing in your ears? Any tinnitus or ringing in your ears?
No.
Was that a no?
No,
Okay. Do you have any hiccups?
No.
Do you have any balance problems?
maybe a little bit.
Okay. So, all right. Yeah. How old are you and what do you weigh?
62 and I'm 115 pounds.
Okay. Yeah, you have osteoporosis of the skull. You have some low back issues and neck issues. The neck issues could be just degenerative disc disease, but it could also be the osteoporosis of the skull squeezing the spinal cord, and low back stuff, doing all the stuff in the feet and the toes. So at 115 pounds, absolutely none of the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no brown rhinos, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. And then 115 pounds, I'd have you take 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month, get another bottle of our selenium with the 5 cofactors, so you can take 3 twice a day or 2 3 times a day for a total of 6 a day. I also want you to take our glucogel. If you prefer the liquid, you could take a ½ ounce twice a day, 1 quart per month. If you prefer the capsules, you could take 3 twice a day. It'll be 1 bottle a month. It's a big bottle. And that'll help regrow cartilage and ligaments and tendons and connective tissue, the disc between the vertebrae and the skull and everything else. Let's see here. If I didn't say it, vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day, that's 2 bottles a month. And let's go there.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Wallach. I appreciate your work.
Well, you're very welcome, Arlene. Thank you.
Thank you. Bless you.
And Arlene also had a question in regards to what is the difference between 2 types of arthritis, the rheumatoid arthritis and osteoarthritis, Dr. Wallach?
Okay, well, osteoarthritis is a nutritional deficiency. It could be just a straight nutritional deficiency, and it can be and/or a nutritional deficiency caused by not supplementing with the nutrients, but also a gluten issue. So even if you're absorbing, you have to get rid of the gluten. And then when you have rheumatoid arthritis, RA, that is the nutritional deficiency arthritis with a secondary infection with a bug called mycoplasma, which causes a rheumatoid arthritis factor. And doctors want you to believe it's an autoimmune disease, your body's attacking itself. No, there's actually an antibiotic called minocycline, like the bait fish, minocycline. She needs a 6 to 8 week dose of minocycline, along with the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack and the MSM and glucogel and vitamin D3 and all that kind of stuff. And even rheumatoid arthritis, I don't care if you've had rheumatoid arthritis for 40 years, usually within 60, 90 days, it's gone.
All right, thank you so much. Dr. Wallach, let's go ahead and move on to our next hand that is up, and that is Dixie. Dixie, go ahead and unmute yourself. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hi, Dixie.
Hi, doctor. How you doing?
Okay, how can we help you?
I'm 61 years old. I weigh 188 pounds. I'm 5'5" now. I've lost almost an inch. I had Hep C, and I went on the ribavirin and interferon 6 months. Then I was off 9 months, and then they put me back on it for 11 months. And I'm viral. I sustained a response, so I don't have Hep C. But 6 months after the last treatment, I woke up and I felt like I sucked on a salt lick all night long. And since then, I've had systemic inflammation. I'm hypothyroid. I still have thyroid symptoms. I'm still losing hair. Let's see what else.
Are you
There's
coloring?
just
Are
so
you
much
coloring your
going
hair?
on.
Are you coloring your hair? Do you have gray hair?
No, my hair has, yeah, it's going gray.
Okay. Okay. And then do you have varicose veins?
I have spider veins.
That counts. Yes. Thank you.
I've also been told I'm insulin.
Okay. So do you have diabetes or prediabetes?
I was told I had insulin resistance.
So that means you have prediabetes or diabetes. Do they put you on medication?
Yeah.
So you're
No,
taking insulin. Okay. So you're not taking any medication for that. Okay. Here we go.
nothing.
Okay. You need to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bread, rhinos, no sugar, and no cruciferous vegetables because you have a history of
Right.
thyroid issue. No cruciferous vegetables, no cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, or kale. And then I want you to take
Okay.
2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I want you to take our Ocean's Gold, take 3 of those twice a day. Our Fucoid Z, take 3 of those twice a day. Both are for the thyroid. And then because of the Hep C thing and susceptibility to viruses with all this stuff going on here with the COVID, I would go ahead and get our colloidal silver, take 2 droppers full under your tongue, 30 minutes for each meal and 30 minutes for bedtime. It's going to take you 2 of these 4-ounce bottles a month to pull this off. I've been doing it for 25 years. Okay. Don't forget our hand sanitizer. I also want you to take our killer biotic. Go ahead and take 3 of those twice a day with those mushrooms that support your immune system. I would also take the BTT 2.0 tablets. Take 3 of those twice a day. That's I think it's a big enough bottle to be able to do that with 1 bottle. And I think that's going to cover this. Let's see here. And 5'5", I'd like to see you weigh 140, 150. So you might need to lose 40 pounds. But just getting off the bad foods, you're going to lose 15, 20 pounds without trying. But if you want to go faster,
That's a problem. Since the treatment for my liver, it's almost impossible for me to lose weight no matter what I try.
okay, stop. If you're not eating fried foods, you're not eating gluten, you're going to lose weight. Okay. Got to give up the gluten. There are no such things as gluten-free oats. It has gliadin in them.
I've gone gluten, dairy, soy, sugar-free.
Okay, good. Now, I also then want you to take, let's see here, killer biotic, take 3 of those twice a day. That's all those mushrooms in there. Oh yeah, now if you want to lose this weight, faster than a half a pound a day. We have a keto bar. There's 10 in a box. You're going to need to get 3 boxes. So it'll be 1 bar a day for a month. And it doesn't have to be the same meal. It could be breakfast for 2 days a week and lunch for 3 days a week and so on. It doesn't matter. And then after 2 months, go to 2 meals a day with the keto bar for 2 meals out of the week, and the other 5 days stay on 1. Okay, and you'll lose a half a pound to 2 pounds a day very quickly. And so let's go there. So you're gonna all these things. You're covering a lot of territory, but all these things you have, none of them are genetic.
Mhm,
None of them are autoimmune. They're all things you can prevent and reverse very quickly. Okay.
mhm. Okay, what do I do about food sensitivities?
Well, there's options. Okay. For instance, what food sensitivities do you have?
Almost what don't I have? Dairy.
Okay, stop. Okay, stop. Okay, you may be allergic to cow dairy, cow milk,
Mhm.
but you could eat sheep milk or goat
No.
milk or llama milk. Okay, and people say, well, I'm allergic to eggs. Well, what about duck eggs or emu eggs or turkey eggs or pigeon eggs? Okay, and so
Mhm.
it's one of those things where you have to find out which one you can have. And invariably, when you have a gluten problem, that causes you to have reactions to food. And doctors just, wipe it off and say, oh, you got an allergy to it, stay away from that. You can't just live on tofu. Even tofu, you got to read the label, and it's got to say certified gluten-free, because guess what they mix with the soy to make tofu? Wheat flour.
Hmm.
So if you're eating tofu, you're getting a lot of
Mhm.
gluten. Okay, good.
No.
But you have to read labels. It has to say, I
Yeah.
like to see the gluten-free label on it, and it also says gluten-free underneath the gluten-free label. And so that way, you're reasonably assured that you're going to be gluten-free, because you can't even absorb oral medication. You can't absorb oral medication if you're eating
Right.
gluten, because your intestines won't absorb medication, won't absorb nutrition, and that's why people are a mess. And they say, well, I'm a mess. I have bad genes. I got this and that. No, let's get off the gluten, take the 90, and let's see what happens here. What if we only get rid of 8 of your 10 diseases? That's not bad.
I'd like to get rid of them all. Autoimmunity sucks.
Okay, well, you don't have any autoimmune diseases. There are none. That's why my thesis is in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure. There are no genetic diseases. There are no autoimmune diseases. My 5,000-page thesis, 20,000 autopsies, is in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure. I'm one of the fathers. I'm one of the 2 founding fathers of the science of epigenetics, which take the place of genetics and autoimmune. Lupus isn't autoimmune. It's a simple nutritional deficiency disease. Okay. Psoriatic arthritis is not autoimmune. It's a simple nutritional deficiency disease. But doctors don't know anything about that.
How do I heal a leaky gut?
Oh, that's easy. Leaky gut is a gluten issue. Okay. That's another name for irritable bowel syndrome. So what you want to do is stay away from gluten. No wheat, no barley, rye, and
I
oats.
have been, doctor. I have.
Okay. Let's bet a dinner in Paris.
You want to buy my ticket?
No.
I don't buy, I cook all my own food. I grow my own vegetables.
I don't care.
I don't know what more to do.
If you're growing your own vegetables and eating them, and you can't, there is no such thing as gluten-free bread. There is no such thing as gluten-free crackers. There is no such thing as gluten-free oats. There is no such as gluten-free cereal.
I
And
don't
when
eat that.
do you eat tortillas?
No,
Do you
my
eat
husband
tofu?
does.
Well, there you go. Do you cook for him?
I have to.
Gluten alert, gluten alert, gluten alert, gluten alert. You're getting cross-contaminated. Kick him out of the house or make him eat like you. I knew you had it somewhere. Yeah, you're getting cross-contaminated. Your house is full of gluten.
How does that
Okay.
happen?
You ever hear of dust?
Yeah,
Okay. Do you wash your clothes with his clothes? Do
yeah.
you sleep with him?
No, he snores.
You ever hug him and kiss him?
Of course.
Well, there you go. His saliva is full of gluten. His sweat is full of gluten. Do you wash his clothes?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I mean, he's full of it and you're cross-contaminating yourself. That's the problem.
Okay.
So
Thank
you owe me the dinner in Paris.
Can I take a rain check on that?
Okay. All right. Okay, Rebecca,
All
how are we
right,
doing here?
Dixie, best wishes. All right, so Dr. Wallach, next question is there anything that can remove calcium deposits in the veins?
Of course. Calcium deposits are usually not in the veins, they're usually in arteries. Okay, and so again, they need to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat bread, rhinos, no sugar. They need to take 1 healthy brain and heart pack per 100 pounds of body weight. They need to take 3 of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight. And they need to stay away from salad dressings that have oils in them. They need to go to our savor division and get our things, like apple cider vinegar, salad dressing, that kind of stuff. And eat properly and supplement properly, and take the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets 3 twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight. And the plaque in arteries goes away. But you can't have fried food, cannot have fried foods, cannot have anything that oxidizes, because that's what causes plaque in the arteries, not cholesterol. Cholesterol is innocent. Do not take statin drugs. If you have any statin drugs at home, box them up and give them to your doctor with love. Don't waste them. Give them to your doctor.
We need cholesterol for a healthy brain.
That's right. 75% of your brain weight is cholesterol. 95% of the weight of estrogen and progesterone is cholesterol. 95% of the weight of testosterone is cholesterol. And so, yeah, you're doing something, this person's doing something wrong when it comes to sources of oxidation, inflammatory stuff, and oxidized oils and fried foods and that kind of stuff. Well, my family ate fried foods for their whole life, and they lived to be 90. Well, did they have a wood stove? Oh yeah, that's what grandma had, was a wood stove. Well, she's putting wood ashes in her garden. Do you put wood ashes in your food? No. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
There's a big difference, but we do want to remind people, food back then and food now are totally different. Where the food now, especially if you're buying it and it's already prepared, it's in a box, it's void of the nutrients that your body needs to be able to even consider addressing all the things that's coming at it. So we definitely recommend you not try to out supplement a poor diet. Your best option is to follow Dr. Wallach's good foods, bad foods, as he mentioned, and then the supplementation, just to make sure that your body is getting what it needs. And please get the cookbook. Mine should be here any day. Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods by Chef
A+.
See, I got it right. I do know how to read. I went to school several years. So yeah, we're coming up to the top of the hour, Dr. Wallach, and I know we have lots of questions still. We have hands up.
We got time for one more?
Let's go ahead and get one more. So Susan has her hand up. Susan, go ahead and unmute yourself. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wallach. I'm happily, hi, my phone, my video went off. Let's try to get it back on again. It won't go on. Okay,
Keep
no
going.
video.
I saw the gray hair.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing really well. I'm calling because I wanted to talk about one of the customers I'm working with. His name Ken, 6'3", 72 years old. He had an intestinal bypass. He was 400 pounds. And when he took your products, he's taking 14 of your products, including the BTT 2.0 and all of the others. He's doing great. He lost, he's down to, he lost 50 pounds. And, but the problem he has is he's been diagnosed with severe emphysema, and he did have a gastric bypass years ago, and he had pneumonia several times this year, but his problem is mucus. He says he just doesn't know what to do about a large amount of mucus that's coming up constantly. Is there anything else he can do besides all of the products he's taking?
Okay, well, if he doesn't have them in there, he needs the Fucoid Z capsules. He
Yes.
could take three times a day. It's 3 bottles a month. If he prefers a liquid, he could take 3 quarts a month, take an ounce 3 times a day. Okay, and then of the Z radical, that's the liquid form of the Fucoid Z. And then I don't know if he's using the keto bars. He can start out with one. Okay, he can start out with 1 keto bar a day. That's be 3 boxes a month because there's only 10 bars in a box. Doesn't have to be the same meal every day. And after 2 months, he can go to 2 meals a day for 2 days out of the week. The other 5 days stay on 1 meal a day. But he needs to eat like an Asian. Eat rice and sweet potatoes and beans and squash. And when he's taking all these supplements, he shouldn't be hungry. That's why he lost 50 pounds, because when you're taking nutrients, you're not hungry. Your body's not looking for stuff. People gain weight because they're looking for stuff, because one of the symptoms of nutritional deficiencies is pica, P-I-C-A. You can look it up in any dictionary, P-I-C-A, pica. That behavior is your body drives you to eat because it's looking for those nutrients. If you're just eating calories, you gain weight. If you take the supplements, you will lose weight because your body's happy and you won't eat as much.
Okay.
So those
Is
are
there any-
those are the 2 things I would add. Okay.
Okay, and about the mucus, he keeps complaining to me about, is there anything the doctor can help him with that? He's gone to his doctors about it and all sorts of stuff, and I don't know if he's taking any medication, but it just doesn't seem to end.
Okay, well, he needs to stay away from gluten, no wheat, butter, rye, and oats.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, and he needs to get on that Fucoid Z or the Z
Okay.
radical, whichever one he likes. That'll help there. But he's got to stay away from any inflammatory things. He can't have 1 cheat meal per week. He cannot have 1 cheat meal per month. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much,
Okay.
Dr. Wallach.
Okay.
Much
Thank you.
appreciated. Thank you. Bye.
Dr. Wallach, I have a question in regards to the killer biotic.
Mm-hmm.
I have people that have taken it, when they've had lung infections, and it's just been fantastic. They love it. But a question that I get is, can they continue to take it? Or
yeah.
is it something that they only use for a short amount of time?
I've been taking it three of those twice a day for 25 years.
There you go. So I didn't think that there would be a problem, as an herbalist. The herbs that are in there are absolutely fantastic, with antiviral, antifungal, antimicrobial,
Oh yeah, we get those mushrooms from all over the world. Yeah.
Yeah, so amazing stuff in that killer biotic. Well, Dr. Wallach, we are at the top of the hour. I just want to thank you so much for being here with us another full 2 hours. I want to thank my co-hosts, John T. McCollier, Nasima Omar, Ruth Ellen Sanchez, for all they do in the background and keeping everything going and running smoothly. We greatly, greatly appreciate all of you. And most of all, you that are listening. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to empower yourself with information that you will be able to use to help yourself and those around you. As there is so much that we can do, and epigenetics has proven that what we put into our bodies and the environment that we are in makes a world of difference on how our health is today and tomorrow. So everybody, go to askdoclive.com. You can get the replays there. You'll have our store there. You can get Dr. Wallach's books there. But again, I don't know how I can stress this anymore. If somebody shared this program with you, get back with them. They truly think something of you and want to make sure that you are getting what you need so you can live your best life as well. So on behalf of myself, Rebecca Kozak, and our whole team, Dr. Wallach, we love you.
I love you too.
Love you very much. And we will see you again next week, same place, same time.
Absolutely.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Love you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Yeah. Nasima, Ruth Ellen, John T. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.